Hello everyone. Welcome back to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will do practice questions for logical reasoning. Now, before we start discussing the questions, there are certain concepts that you should be familiar with. We have already discussed these concepts, but let us quickly revise them. So the first concept is basic. What is the difference between odd numbers and even numbers? So odd numbers are number whose last digit, or you can call digit at units place. This we studied in school. Ends with 1, 3, 5, 7 or 9. These are your odd numbers. Then we have even numbers. Even numbers again whose last digit or units place end with 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8. This is the concept of odd numbers and even numbers. Then we have a concept of prime numbers. So what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are numbers whose factors are 1 and the number itself. So it has only two factors, that is the number itself and the number 1. So what are your prime numbers? I told you to remember your prime numbers from 1 to 100 at least. So between 1 to 100 we have 25 prime numbers. Between 1 to 100 we have 25 prime numbers. What are they? 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, then we have 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, then we have 53, 59, then we have 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, 89 and 97. So how many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 and 25. So in total there are 25 prime numbers between 1 to 100. These you should remember. Then we talked about squares. So I told you to remember squares of at least 1 to 30. 1 to 30. Squares of at least 1 to 30. So let us start. 1 square is 1. 2 square is 4. 3 square is 9. 4 square is 16. 5 square equals to 25. 6 square is 36. 7 square is 49. 8 square is 64. 9 square is 81. And 10 square is 100. Then 11 square is 121. 12 square is 144. 13 square is 169. 14 square is 196. 15 square is 225. Then we have 16 square, which is 256. 17 square is 289. Then we have 18 square, which is 324. Similarly, 19 square is 361 and 20 square is 400. Okay. Then we have 21 square. 21 square is 441. 22 square is 484. 23 square is 529. 24 square is 576. 25 square is how much? 625. 26 square is 676. 27 square is 729. 28 square is 784. Then 29 square is 841 and 30 square is 900. So at least squares from 1 to 30 you should remember. Clear? Now, then I told you also to remember cubes. So cubes of at least 1 to 20 or 1 to 15, as much as you can remember, because these are bigger numbers. So 1 cube we know is how much? 1 cube is 1, 2 cube is 8, 3 cube is 27. Similarly, 4 cube is how much? 4 cube is 64. 5 cube is 125. Then 6 cube is 216. 7 cube is 343. 8 cube is 512. 9 cube is 729. And 10 cube is 1000. Okay. Then 11 cube is 1331. I have told you a shortcut of multiplying any number by 11 also. So 12 cube is how much? 12 cube is 1728. Then 13 cube is 2197. 14 cube is 2744. 15 cube is 3375. 16 cube is 4096. 17 cube is 4913. 18 cube is 5832. 19 cube is 6859. And 20 cube is 8000. So this much information of cubes, prime numbers and squares you should remember. Okay, so just take a minute and note these down. Now, let us look at this question. So this is question number 1. In this question, 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which of the option is odd one out. Now, if you remember prime numbers, 13 is a prime number, 17 is also a prime number, and 23 is also a prime number. But 63 is not a prime number. If I want to factorize 63, if you know the method of prime factorization. So if I factorize 63, I'll start with 3. How much I'll get? If I start with 3, 2 and 1, then again 3 will give me 7 and I'll get 7. So the factors are 3, 3 and 7. Therefore, for prime numbers, there are only 2 factors, 1 and the number itself. So this does not hold true for 63, hence 63 is the odd one out. Clear? Now, question number 2. Again, 4 options are given to us and we have to identify the odd one out. So over here, I can see 25 is basically a perfect square for 5. These are perfect squares. So numbers like 25, 36 and 49, 64, these kind of numbers are called perfect squares. Numbers which have a square. Similarly, numbers like 8, 64 and 27, all these numbers are called perfect cubes because they are cube of a number. So these numbers are called perfect squares and these numbers are called perfect cubes. So 36 we know is 6 square. Similarly, 144 we know is 12 square. So only 78 is a number which is not a perfect square. So it is not a perfect square, hence option number 3 will be the correct answer. Okay? Now, question number 3. In question number 3, we have certain numbers and we have to identify which of them does not follow the same logic. Hence, it is the odd one out. So, if I look over here, 1 plus 3 plus 1, this gives me how much? This gives me 5. Correct? 1 plus 5 plus 1 will give me 7. 1 plus 6 plus 1 will give me 8. And similarly, 1 plus 7 plus 1 will give me 9. So here I can see 5, 7 and 9. These are what? These are odd numbers. correct? And only this digit is a even number. So I can see the sum of the digits of each number gives me an odd number, except for 161, whose sums gives me a even number. Therefore, option number 3 is the incorrect one. Okay? Now, let us look at question number 4. So question number 4, again 4 options are given to us and we have to identify which of them is the odd one out. Now, if I look at this number 48, 50, 82 and 170, I can see that these numbers are very near to a square number. How? If I see 48, the closest square to it is 49. So basically 48 is 7 square minus 1. That is 49 minus 1. Correct? Now 50 is again very close to 49. So I can say 50 is what? 50 is 7 square plus 1. That is 49 plus 1. Correct? Now, if I look at 82, the most common I can see 82 is the closest is 84. Correct? Sorry, 81. The closest square root for 82 is 81. And 81 is what? It is the square root of 9. So I can add 1 in square root of 9. That is 81 plus 1 will give me 82. Correct? And 170 I can see 169. So the closest square is 169. 169 is square of 13. So I can see 13 square plus 1. That is 169 plus 1. So in all these there is an addition. Correct? In all these I can see that we are adding how much? 1. Correct? But only in this option we are subtracting a 1. Therefore, option number 1 is the different one. It is the odd one out because it does not follow the same logic. Okay, so the logic was we squared a number or we were taking a perfect square and we were adding 1 into it. This was the logic. Okay, now next question is question number 5. So in each of the following questions, 5 numbers are given. So we have 5 options now. And out of these, 4 are alike in a certain way. So out of these 5 options, we have 4 that are alike in a certain way. But the rest 1 is different. So out of 5 options, 4 are same and 1 is different. That means 1 is odd one out. In this also, in these questions also, we have to select the odd one out. Now, let us look at the options. We have 17, 27, 29, 37 and 59. So if you remember prime numbers, just by looking at the numbers, I can see this is a prime number. Similarly, 29 is also a prime number. 37 is also a prime number and 59 is also a prime number. Only 27 is a composite number. So if I do prime factorization for 27, I can write it as 9 into 3 or I can write it as 3 into 3 into 3. So we have multiple factors for 27, hence it is not a prime number. Hence option number 2 will be the correct answer to this question. Clear? Question number 6. Again, 5 options are given to us and we have to identify which of the following is different. Which of the following is a odd one out. Okay. So if I look at option number 1, option number 2, option number 3, option number 4, option number 5, I can see that all these are odd. These are odd numbers. And if I try to make sense, I can see 85, 125, these are composite numbers, whereas 29 and 53 are prime numbers. Correct? So, I cannot make a logic. But if I look at this number, 125, I can see this is a perfect cube. This is a perfect cube. This is a perfect cube of 5. So, out of the following options, 29, 53, 85 and 147, these are neither perfect squares nor perfect cube. Only option number 4 is a perfect cube of 5. Therefore, option number 4 will be the correct answer to this question. Clear? Question number 7. Again, 5 options. We have to find the odd one out. So question number 7, again we can see each and every number is a odd number, correct? And if I see 65 and 45 have multiples of 5, whereas 37 is a prime number, so only one prime number is there. But 79 is also a prime number, so two prime numbers are there. So prime number concept is not being used. Okay, and if I can see that each and every number is odd. So again, even odd concept is also not being used. So when I look at these numbers, I can see that 49 is the only number which is a perfect square. Whose square it is? 49 is a square of 7. So 49 is the only number which is a perfect square. Hence, this is the number that stands out. This is the odd one out option. So option number 3, 49 will be the correct answer to this question. Clear? Question number 8. So 5 options, we have to identify the one that is different. So we have 21, 39, 51, 63 and 83. So 21 can be written as 7 into 3. 39 can be written as 13 into 3. 51 can be written as 17 into 3. And 63 can be written as 21 into 3. Correct? Each of these number is a multiple of 3. But when I look at 83, this is a prime number. So, only option number 5, 83 is the number which is prime. Rest, every number has a multiple of 3. Therefore, option number 5, 83 would be the odd one out option. Clear? Now, let us look at question number 9. So, again, 5 options are given to us and we have to identify the one that is odd one out. So, if I look over here, 145, 197, 257, 325 and 399. So, each number is odd. But I can see these numbers are very close to a perfect square. So, 144, 196, 265, 256, then 324 and 400. These are perfect squares. This is 12 square. 196 is 14 square. This is 16 square. And 324 is 18 square. Correct? And 400 is 20 square. So these are very close to squares. Now if I look at this number 145, I can say this is 12 square plus 1. Correct? 144 plus 1. Similarly, I can say this is 14 square plus 1. I can say this is 16 square plus 1. I can say this is 18 square plus 1. But over here, 399 is basically 20 square minus 1. So in all these options, I have added 1 to a perfect square. But only in this option, we have subtracted ones. So option number 4 is the odd one out. So the logic used was perfect square plus 1. This was the logic used. Okay. Now question number 10. Again, I can see certain numbers that are very close to a perfect square. So over here, I can see 16. It is very close to 16. This is very close to 64. This is very close to 144. This is very close to 196. Similarly, this is very close to 256. Correct? So I can say this is basically 16 is 4 square minus 1. Correct? 64 is 8 square minus 1. Correct? Over here we have done 12 square minus 1. And over here we have done 14 square minus 1. Correct? But over here we have done 256 is which square? 256 is 16 square. So we have added 1. So in all the options, we subtracted 1 from a perfect square. So the logic was perfect square minus 1. This was the logic. But only in this option, we have added 1. Therefore, option number 5 will be the odd one out. Clear? Now, question number 11. Question number 11, again I can see certain numbers that are very close to a square number. Like if I take 121, if I take 169, if I take, let's say, 289, over here the closest number will be 7. Okay, this is 729. And over here the closest number for 380, I cannot think of a square. Because the square for 19 is 361 and the square for 20 is 400. So this number lies somewhere in between, but this is not very close to a perfect square. If I look at 120, this is basically 121 minus 1. So 11 square minus 1. Correct? 168 is again, if I say it is 169 minus 1, that means it is 13 square minus 1. This is 288. So 289 is which square? 289 is the square of 17. So this is 17 square minus 1. Similarly, this is 729 minus 1. So this is minus 1. So 729 is square of 19. So square of 729 is the square of 27. So this is 27 square minus 1. Correct? So in each case, I could see this is very close to a squared number. So squared number minus 1. But in this particular case, in option number 4, this number lies somewhere between 19 and 20. 19 square and 20 square. Correct? So I cannot make out the same relationship that was perfect square minus 1 with this number. This logic is not being used in option number 4. Hence, option number 4 is the odd one out. Clear? Now, question number 12. So, question number 12, if I look 126, 217, 345, 513 and 713. So, if I look at these numbers, I can see they are very close to cubes. So, this is 125 is the cube. Now, over here 216. Similarly, over here we have 512. And for 730, the closest cube will be 729. And for 345, the closest cube will be again 7 cube. 7 cube is 343. This will be the closest cube. So if I look, this is 125 is 5 cube. So this is basically 5 cube plus 1. Correct? Similarly, 216. 216 is 6 cube. So this is 6 cube plus 1. 343 is the cube of 7. So this is 7 cube plus 2. Okay. Because 343 and this is 345. So 7 cube plus 2. Then this is 8 cube plus 1. 512 is 8 cube. And 729 is 9 cube. So this is 9 cube plus 1. So in each we are adding 1 to perfect cubes. Correct? But in only this option, that is option number 3, we are adding 2. So the logic was we are adding perfect cube plus 1. But only in option number 3, this is not being followed. Therefore, option number 3 will be the odd one out. Clear? Now, question number 13. Question number 13. 30, 13, 17, 23, 37, 73. I can see that all of them are what? Prime numbers, and all of them are odd numbers. So they are both odd and prime. So I can't see a straight up logic. But if I reverse these numbers, if I write 13 as 31, if I write 17 as 71, if I write this as 32, if I write this as 73, and if I write this as 37. Okay, so this number is prime. This number is prime. Similarly, this number is also prime and 37 is also prime. But if you look at this number, that is 32, this is a composite number. 32 is not a prime number. Correct? This has factors. 8 into 4 gives us 32. Correct? This is not the prime number. Therefore, the answer will be option number 3, 23. Now, question number 14. Again, 5 options are given to us and we have to identify which of them is the odd one out. Now, if I look over here, I can see that 131 is a prime number. 131 is a prime number. Now, if I look at 57, 57 is basically 19 into 3. Similarly, 87 is 29 into 3. 133 if I divide by 3, or I can say 133 is 19 into 7. And 143 is 11 into 13. So each of these numbers have two prime factors. Okay, but over here 131 does not have any factors. Therefore, option number 3, 131 is the odd one out because this is a prime number. Okay. Now, question number 15, again 5 options are given and we have to identify the odd one out. So if I look at the options, straight up I can see 121 is 11 square. So out of all the options, 121 is the number alone which is a perfect square. Correct? We have 121 as 11 square and next we have 144 as 12 square. So this is eliminated. Correct? Then we have 13 square which is 169. So this is eliminated. Then we have 14 square which is 196. So this is and this is also eliminated. So these are not perfect squares. The perfect square is only option number 1 which is 121. Therefore, this will be the correct answer to this question. So this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.